ng pagsusumikap ninyo para mapag-aralan ng product. Dahil I'm sure lahat kayo makaka-benefits, not only kayo, family nyo sa Pilipinas, at mababago yung buhay ninyo. I mean, I don't want to say it na mababago. Of course, you have to work harder. Hindi siya overnight nangyayari. Nung nag-start ako, every night, habang nagpapatulog ng bata, nagbabasa ako, nanonood ako ng video, inaaral ko yung company. Pero sa tamang pag-i-introduce nyo sa mga client ninyo, magagawa nyo talagang makabenta because this is para sa health natin. Hindi na lang huwag nyo na lang isipin kung ano yung magiging benefits sa inyo. Hindi ako nakikita, hello? Sa magiging benefits ang importante sa inyo, sa pamilya ninyo. Kaya, ayaw ko nang patagalin. Alam ko may ibang lahi dito. May ibang lahi pala.
Yes.
Sorry. Sorry guys. But anyway, I'm very proud to say na we mark over 1 year and we're gonna go more years to come because yung company nga tumagal ng 1967, so 52 years. So I'm sure sa UAE din, tatagal sa buong mundo. But anyway, gusto ko ipakilala sa inyo the man behind the success of Nutraway. Nandito para bisitahin tayo at malaman at i-explain sa atin ang lahat ng benefits ng company. Mr. Jerry Geroni.
Thank you. Wow, what a group, eh? Oh my OMG. Look at this. Well, I am so excited to be here. What a great team, and you guys have worked so hard. And I heard Eva say that this is our first year anniversary. This is so exciting. I mean, I remember when Yuri and, you know, in our hearts, let's give a round of applause to Yuri Moore, who, if it wasn't for her pushing me and pushing me and pushing me, I mean, she wouldn't stop. She kept saying, we need to go to UAE. We need to make it happen. And finally I said, okay, let's do it. And I want you to know, like, by the way, I'm married to a Filipina. Diba? Oh my God.
Talaga?
Yeah. And so, over the years, I've become very committed to the Filipino community, to the Philippines. And so, to me, I think in life, you definitely want to become successful, you definitely want to earn money, but you really want to make a difference. And you really feel so much better when you're changing lives, when you're really helping people advance, when you're teaching them how to not just give them a fish, but teach them how to go fishing and catch their own fish and become more successful. And I know how much in the Filipino community, how important it is to send money back home. I see in Toronto, Canada, so many nannies that are earning, you know, konti lang, you know, money, but they still send a big part of that back home for the family. A big part of that to send their nieces or brothers or sisters to go to school, to sacrifice. So to me, it's become a mission to be able to teach people, teach Filipino worldwide how to live healthier, live longer, and be more successful. Because success is all about a mindset, marketing, and momentum. And if you have the right mindset, and you know how to market the right product, and you have the right momentum. Have you ever noticed in your life when things are going well, it seems like everything's going well? Because you have good momentum. You're moving, you're thinking right, you're focused. So today, first of all, I'm going to talk a little bit about the product. There's a saying I always say is this: if you're going to get rich, where are you going to get the money? Boy, we have a lot of people coming in tonight, eh? All right. I'm going to re-ask the question. If you're going to get rich, where are you going to get the money? The only place you're going to get the money is from other people. And why would people want to give you money? There's only one reason people will want to give you money. Is because you solved a problem for them. You helped them, a little or a lot. And that problem meant something to them. In our particular products, I'm going to show you today the problems that we solve. And if you do a good job at solving someone's problem, they do not mind giving you money. And then, if you're really going to be successful, you have to learn the art of leverage. And leverage means, how can I serve? You know, in the beginning, you serve one person at a time. The key to being super successful is, how do I serve 10 people, 100 people at a time? And in our particular case, it's through helping other people become successful with us. You know, every business has their own way of communicating their product to the public. And so, I'm going to see if I can help you guys out. Wow, we got everybody everywhere. My God, eh? See what happens when the food is libre? My God. It fills up. Wow. Wow, wowee. All right. Okay, so let me tell you and show you the problems that we solve. First of all, what I'm gonna do too is I'm gonna teach you a little bit about selling as I go along, which will help you. All right, is everybody here? Okay. There's three things. Whether you decide to work with us or not, or whether you're here just to see product and see how we help people live longer and healthier lives, I'm still going to teach you this because it's all a process. And one of the things I want you to understand is we want to sell the problem. See, a lot of times people don't know that they have a problem until you help them understand that they do. And here's how I'm going to do that with, for example, juicing. If you look at the way Filipinos eat, the Filipino diet is very high in meat, fat, fried food, and carbs. Now, it's similar to my background. My background's Italian. I'm an Italiano married to an Ilocano. Really, Italians eat a lot of fried food, a lot of meat, and their fat, and their carbs is pasta versus rice. And that diet, as you get older, as you get over 30 and 40 and 50, has a lot of health issues for a lot of people. What are some of the problems? Who knows? What's the problem from eating a lot of meat, a lot of carbohydrates, and fried foods, so on? What did you say? High blood pressure, that's one of them. That's a big one. What else? Sugar, and what does sugar cause? That's right, diabetes. Thank you for joining in, thank you. Diabetes. My father died because of diabetes. All it took, he started out like everybody else on the pills. Eventually, do you know what diabetes makes you susceptible to? A stroke, high blood pressure, and heart attack. And in my case, and now everybody's going to turn their phone ringer off because he gave us the signal. But it does. See, some people take for granted that you take those pills for diabetes, but I'll tell you something, you have a much higher chance of stroke, you have a much higher chance of heart attack, you have a much higher chance of high blood pressure when you're a diabetic. Well, in my father's case, he had a stroke, and after the stroke, it went from the pills to the needles, the insulin. And one day, he cut his foot just a little bit, wouldn't stop bleeding, goes to the hospital, and gangrene sets in. And he refused to cut his leg off. Because usually when you cut your leg off, usually the next one comes a little time after. They cut both legs off. And he refused. So he refused. It meant that 3, 4, whatever amount of days later, he died because gangrene spreads very quickly. Now you got to ask yourself, why would my father not have cut his leg off to stay alive? I can't answer that because I never asked him that question. But here's what I believe. I believe that the reason is because it's not how long you live, lifespan, it's how long you're healthy, health span. How long are you going to be healthy for? And already, as a stroke patient with one arm not working, actually it's the left arm, the left arm not working and walking like this and eventually being in a wheelchair, I think he just didn't want to be independent. So here's what I'm trying to say. If you start juicing, juicing brings down high blood pressure. Juicing brings down cholesterol. Juicing helps protect against diabetes. If you juice the right things each and every day consistently, over 60% of our clients can get off the diabetes pills. The other 40% or 30%, they bring down the dosage of diabetes. The dosage of the amount of pills, the strength. Is that a positive? That's huge. You know something? I juice each and every day. Should you decide to juice, you will feel better. You will look healthier. Your skin will look better. Now, I know I only look 40. Don't lie. But I just turned 62 years old a month ago, and I feel the best I've ever felt in my life.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yes.
October 16th, Libra. Yeah. I feel the best I've ever felt. And I'll tell you something, you will go more regular. But listen, here's the big thing. You can buy juicers for 300-400 dirhams. And you can buy them for, I'm trying to do the conversion from US dollars, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 dirhams. I gotta tell you something. The inexpensive juicers will become your most expensive juicer. Because you gotta cut your vegetables as if they're little toothpicks. And you press just a little too hard and it burns the motor out. And it puts a lot of pulp in your mouth. And I'll tell you, if you're gonna become a juicing addict like I am, you don't want pulp in your mouth because it tastes terrible and it's not pleasing. If something's not pleasing, you won't want to do it. And they burn out and they use twice as much food. And vegetables are expensive as it is. And so the price of this starts to go up as you start juicing and replacing juicers. Where this one here is a commercial juicer used residentially. Now the only thing I'm disappointed tonight is we're not going to be able to juice for you because of this environment. We can't really do that. And I'm only here to promote, especially we have plans to expand all through mainland, everywhere. And so I'm here more to promote that tonight. Yeah. We're taking care of all the things that we need to take care of to make sure that that happens. And I'll tell you something, when you juice, and should you decide to invest in one of these through one of the people here and have them let you try it, it is amazing. My typical morning when I juice is carrot, apple, a red pepper has more vitamin C than an orange. I do a half of beet, which cleans your liver. I do kale. When I'm in the Philippines, which I'll be there next week, I do malunggay instead of kale. And I'll tell you something, you will feel the difference in your life. And you will get life. Why? I was going to say, have you ever gone to a Filipino party? I think maybe you have. But have you ever gone to a Filipino party? I've gone to so many. And you know, so you go to a Filipino party, and then you see, okay, there is lechon baboy, Then you have dinuguan. Then you have maybe tilapia, vaca. And then you have pancit. Oh, a little bit of vegetable in pancit. Kunti lang. Okay, a little bit. Oh, you got pinakbit, especially Ilocanos. You know, they like the pinakbit. But then the pinakbit, the vegetables, they taste phenomenal, but they're dead. They cook the daylights out of it, you know what I mean? And then you go, there's rice, and just in case you run out of the rice, there's still more rice in the back room. So vegetables is not really a big product in the Filipino community. You know, it's just not part of the culture. But if you have me in the morning, I don't just have a glass anymore of juice, I have a jug. A big pitcher, I have it all to myself. And it balances out your high meat and high carb diet. Trust me, should you become an addict like I am, you know what? Good habits are just as hard to break as bad habits. I've got that good habit now, and I'll have it for the rest of my life. And I know it's going to be a benefit. You know, I am older. I don't know when my dad became a diabetic, and it's in the family. But he started, I'm going to guess, in his 50s. I'm going to just guess at that. It was definitely before his 60s. So this is why we inspire people to make this part of their life. It is absolutely amazing. Now, I noticed that they don't have all the products here today. There is, let me see here. Where's Rika? Rika, get this iPad out here and see, you know what, isn't this funny? I don't know, guys, does this happen to you? I bought the big iPad Pro to show you what I'm showing here. All of a sudden, the iPad Pro is gone. Guess who has it? My wife replaced it with her little iPad. Remember the last time I had a big iPad? It's gone. It's not mine anymore. It was repossessed by Telma. Okay, so yeah, take this out. Let's see if we can make this work. Yeah, get that working. Oh, up from the top, top. Yeah. Yeah, so I can show you. Oh, turn it on. Oh, let me see here. What's your... let me see here. It's okay. It's yeah, it is right. Let me see. Oh, we go to not now. No. We go to that. All right. Okay. So let's turn it this way, and let's go to water. Okay, please. Please release me. I'm not working anymore. Oh, you're not. Okay, go something. Why is it not working? Is it? It worked a little while ago, and she showed it to me. Okay. All right. Try to figure it out. Okay. I'll do it anyway. Well, when you see, okay. By the way, here in UAE and all over the world, they put chlorine in water. Why do they put chlorine in water? What's that? What's that?
Because it's a seawater.
Well, that's what a lot of people feel, but you know what? They put chlorine in the United States, they put chlorine in all the cities all over the world. And so, in a lot of parts of the world, most of them don't use seawater other than UAE. So there's more reasons than that. But what's, huh? To treat the water, that's one thing, and kill bacteria. You know what? Treating the water is actually what she's trying to say, but to be clear, that's what it is it's to kill bacteria. The key word is here, kill. To kill a cell. You're killing cells with the chlorine. And how does it kill the cell? It kills the cell by poisoning it. So chlorine is a poison. So when they put it in your water, they say that we're receiving what they call acceptable amounts of poison. Now, what has been acceptable to human beings? Everything? Have you ever heard of people being allergic to penicillin? You ever heard of that? Yes, very big. A lot of people allergic to penicillin. Well, if I take penicillin, I heal faster. Somebody else takes it, it kills them. Or makes them severely sick. Same chemical. And then, I'm not going to keep asking the question, but you heard of people being allergic to milk, lobster, crab, fish, you name it, huh? What's that? Chicken. That's right. Vegetables. People are allergic. Grass. Allergies. You name it. People are allergic to. And if you go and Google on the internet right now, chlorine, cancer, and heart disease, you will see an article that comes right up. That article says, and you'll know it's the right article because it says the Medical College of Wisconsin, which is a research center in the United States that's known all over the world. It says that they are convinced with their research that there is a connection, an association between cancer and chlorinated water. And that 1 in every 8 women will get breast cancer. And they found that the women with breast cancer, a new study in Hartford, Connecticut, that they had 60% more chlorine compounds in their breast tissue than women that did not have breast cancer, in most cases. And another thing, that most of your, well, not a good percentage comes from drinking, a big percentage comes from showering. When you shower, chlorine evaporates at a lower level. You breathe it in, blood comes to your lungs for oxygen. Your body still has to clean up the mess. You're still having to deal with that toxin. And so, I just suggest to people is this. It's to your best interest. You don't have to. But you either have a great filter or you are the filter. It's your lungs, your spleen, your kidneys. You know what I noticed all over the world? Is there's more dialysis centers today growing all over the world than ever before. And you know what I realize that we keep forcing our kidneys and liver and our spleen to do more of the cleaning now of chemicals than we ever have before. So it's just to your best interest to start moving in that direction. I've noticed a lot of things, the more birthdays I have, is that life is fragile. Now, will this guarantee you perfect health? Of course, nobody can guarantee you perfect health. Some things are just genetics. But some things that are genetic are inspired by a lot of the negative things we do. So, filtering water, your shower, your drinking, your cooking. Because a lot of people, even if they have bottled water, what do? When they're making sinigang, where do they go? To the tap. They're making rice and washing the rice. Where do they go? To the tap. Rice is 50% water or more. So when you're cooking with it, when you're washing it, it soaks right into the rice. So all of the chemicals go right into the rice. I just want you to know that if you decide to own one of our filters, it's all stainless steel. It'll be with you for the rest of your life. Inside it has a cartridge. And I'm going to tell my wife that that's why she gave me that. Because it doesn't work. She switched it. But if I could only show you, the top part of this filter has a ceramic. It looks like you're pushing water through cement. No bacteria can get through at that point. No microorganism, no bacteria, microorganism, filth, dirt, rust, none of it can get through. Then it removes over 200 chemicals in the inside. You know, yeah, you stand up and show them that. Yeah, stand up beside me. They all want to see it. All right? Yeah, see, here it shows the cutout. This is all stainless steel. And then in here it shows you, they kind of cut the cartridge so you can see the carbon block inside. And the water pushes through there, not there, that's just open for you to see the inside. It's all ceramic. And then the water goes through and down and comes out filtered. Did you know this? Yeah, I think that's good, thanks. Did you know this? That they did a study in South Asia, including the Philippines. This was about 40 years ago. And 40 years ago, the cancer rate in the provincia, in the Philippines, was only 3 to 40%. Today, in the province, cancer rate's just like the cities. Cancer rate is just like the cities in the province today. And the cities is close to 50%, whether it's Manila or whether it's Los Angeles or whether it's Toronto or Chicago, it doesn't really matter. It's close to 50%. What changed for the Philippines? I'm going to tell you what I believe. 40 years ago, they didn't spray pesticides, insecticides on the rice and the corn and the tobacco and everywhere else. They didn't spray it. 40 years ago, they didn't use herbicides and everything else. 40 years ago, they didn't even use galigli with gasoline and paints and everything else. And 40 years ago, there was no chlorine in the water, even in the smallest cities, smallest towns now. It's all chlorinated water. There is more chemicals in the province today than ever before, where 40 years ago they didn't have that. And guess what happens? I'll be spending Christmas in Isabela this year. But 4 years ago, 4 or 5, I forget how long ago. Anyways, it was raining a lot. Like a lot. I didn't even know it was a small typhoon. I just thought, wow, how long is this gonna keep raining? You know, like this is a lot of rain. And then because her barrio was up high, we didn't see any flooding. But when we left the barrio and we're going down the highway, it was like an ocean. And all the Carabao were up on the side of the highway and everybody brought what they could from their belongings. And think about it. Think about this. Where do you think all the pesticides, insecticides, and everything goes? It goes into everybody's well. The manure from carabao or other animals, it goes to everybody's well. Gasoline or anything else that was sitting around or paint goes into everybody's well. And it gets into the system. So, if you go to Isabela, where my family is, you're going to see that everybody that's got a Jetmatic has one of our filters. If they can afford it, first of all, or if their kids buy it for their parents. And it blocks all that. So it's to your best interest to filter water. Another thing that, I'm not going to move on to the next product, but I'll tell you something. You're going to see that it is so awesome to have. And they can show you pictures, and they can go more detail in Tagalog. Another thing is this. They'll be showing you is we have an air purifier. This air purifier is, do we have one here? Oh, yeah, this is a miniature version. All right, you wanna open it? We have an air purifier, and it's a 10-stage system. And I gotta tell you something. When the air goes through all of this, it is so light in your house. It is like easy, here it is, easy to breathe. We have this style for UAE and Europe. And you can get it still in this color or that color. And it's 10 stages. And it filters the particles to to the biggest particles, right down to the ones that are sub micron. So it starts off big and then smaller, right down to the HEPA filter here. This is what they use in hospitals. If you have tuberculosis, they'll put you in a room called a negative pressure room. And that's so viruses can't get in or out. They use these. These are expensive. And then they got carbon pads to absorb gases. All I can tell you is this. My he's an extreme asthmatic. It can't cure your asthma, but what it does is it removes a lot of the stuff in the air that triggers off your asthma, that starts it. So his asthma attacks went down by over 95%. He feels better. I don't have allergies. Well, I do have one allergy to pusit, squid. But breathing allergies, I don't have any. But when I walk into my home, I'll tell you something, the air is just so light, easy to breathe. You sleep better. You feel better. The air seems more active, and it has a really special little button on it. Next month, or next week when I'm in Philippines, when I go home on December the 27th, I'm going to have one suitcase full of toyo, pusit, tinapa, and bagoong. And my wife even uses it not only for guests, but for selling. Because if I could pusit and toyo right now in this room, I could press that button. In a room this size, 40 minutes, 45 minutes, voila, you smell nothing. Anything you can smell is a gas. It neutralizes gas and leaves behind oxygen. It is amazing. So, as people start to invest in these products, they get healthier. Their air is better to breathe. There's less particles for their lungs. They sleep better. They're drinking better water. They're cooking with clean water. They're showering better. They're juicing each day. And the last thing that I'm going to show you is, huh? What's coming? Okay, but it's a box. Okay, all right. Well, just give me the brochure. Do you have a brochure? And then we'll show it. Okay, let me see here. Let me see what I want to. Okay, and where is it here? I just wanted to show. It's too bad we can't open that. Okay. All right. Okay, so we've tried everything to open this up, right? It was open before. Okay, so let me just try one more time here. Okay, this is not. Oh wow! You got one here. Is this? Okay, this is not. This is not what I'm looking for here. But that'll help. Okay, that'll help. Yeah, that's not the one. This is interactive. Oh man, what the heck happened there? Okay. All right. What I wanted to do is I wanted to show you that our bed has something that's very, very, very unique. The only problem with our bed is when you hear the price, your blood pressure will go up. That's the only problem the bed has. But if you've ever heard, in the U.S. there's a bed that doesn't include grounding like ours does. It's called a Tempur-Pedic. Sells for about $10,000 U.S. So great beds are expensive, but there's nothing like an amazing deep sleep. If you can have an amazing deep sleep, it is probably one of the most powerful things. You know, my dentist in Makati, Dr. Bell, she purchased one of our beds. At first, she did have a little bit of a heart attack, but once she got over the price, you know, I went to see her because I was getting a lot done, and I went back to see her, and she said to me, Jerry, I have never had a sleep so amazing in my life. She says, I wake up and my eyes are just like open. I feel so powerful, and I'm on my feet all day. I'm on my feet all day, and I'm leaning over, you know, working on patients. She said, I've never felt this way. She literally loved it so much that as her daughter grew up a little more, she bought her daughter one. And that's a pretty big investment to do that. That's how attached she became to this bed. See, when you have a normal bed, when you're sleeping, most of the time, the ultimate sleep is when they have what they call a level 4, where they call it rapid eye movement, where your brain and subconscious mind is kind of detached from each other, so you're not really thinking. You're like in this deep, deep state. 95% of the people in the world don't ever get that deep. Some get really light. You might remember, maybe when you were a child, you went camping or you fell asleep on a beach or beside a river. And when you fell asleep, I remember I fell asleep on a beach once, and when you first wake up, it's like you don't even know where you are. You slept so deep. Why? Because you were connected to the earth. There's a healing effect. You go Google it tonight. It's called earthing or grounding, one or the other. They both mean the same, and you both find it on the internet. And when you're grounded, today they even have people that have diabetes or high blood pressure, and they get them just to walk on the grass, walk on the beach, because you exchange you collect what they call EMFs, electromagnetic fields or electromagnetic radiation. It comes from electricity and it comes from Wi-Fi, and we're not going to get away from that. And the Wi-Fi is going to even get stronger because it's going now to 5G. So you get bombarded and it creates inflammation. Tell me something. What is cancer? It's an inflammation of a cell that once it gets inflamed to a certain spot, it now starts to multiply. So this reduces inflammation. If I could show you that video, you could see how the cyclists on the Tour de France, they use grounding mats. So the cyclists, when they're done their day of riding, and I didn't know that they rode this hard. It's as if they've run 5 marathons in a day, and they went 20,000 feet vertical up on their bicycle. So when they're worn out, they come home or they go to the hotel, and they use grounding to heal faster. They heal faster, and they sleep so much deeper. Why would a deep sleep be important to you? Because when you sleep, you recharge, you repair, and when you sleep at the deepest level, you repair faster, stronger, and your body, your immune system is much stronger. So this bed, now most people here, because they're here, most of the people here, what they purchase is the top of the bed. Because the bed is so expensive, and sometimes people are thinking they're going to go back home, or maybe they're living in an apartment with a few people, and so they're purchasing the topper. And the topper is about this thick, and it adds, and it's all lined with pure silver, so it's 99.99% bacterial free. And when you sleep, you just sleep more comfortable, way more comfortable, and you're grounded. You remove the what they call electromagnetic fields or radiation out of your body that night, and you sleep better. And that sleep helps you so much. So the topper is such a magnificent thing. Now, let's say you get yourself a job, or maybe a person's their particular job really pays well, or they're married and there's two incomes, and they're two great income jobs where they can actually go to the next level, which is the mattress. Phenomenal. Now they got the Rolls Royce of mattresses. And that being said though, if they only start with the topper, it is still like the Mercedes-Benz, because it is the top of the line, but most importantly, it incorporates grounding and earthing that no other mattress does. So these are the problems that we solve. And I'll tell you, we get testimonials from all over the world that tells us, wow, thank you, you changed my life. So many people that are feeling better because we walked into their life. And truthfully, yes, I constantly want to build more. I have bigger and bigger goals when it comes to financial. But you know, the funny thing is when I meet with you, or if I'm in your house one-to-one, I don't think about money. I think about changing your life and what would be the best products for you. And you know something? The money will follow anyways. If people really know that you're sincere and really out for their best interest, people will want to do business with you. As long as everything you say is truthful. Because if it's not, people will figure you out. Like, you know, truthfully, I've been doing this, and I said this earlier on, I think I only look 40, but I've been doing this for 42 years. That's a long time. And so you don't stay in a business, the same business, for 42 years, unless you're doing something that really makes a difference. You know, you really got to make a difference. You really want to support people. And so that's what we do to solve problems. I'm going to say one or two other things, and then I'm going to pass this back to Eva, wherever the heck she is, and possibly Roger, together in a little while. You'll find them somewhere and tell them to come back. Oh, there's Roger, there. I'm going to tell you a little something about some people that, and I have so many stories, but I'll only tell you one or two. I'm going to tell you about the first Filipina that started working with me in 1996. I started in this business in 1977 as a 19-year-old kid. I never finished school. I don't have any academic degrees. I have one degree. That's in results. I know how to get the job done. And I was a wandering kid, not really knowing what to do. I was working construction and I hated it. I literally despised it. They should have, on the fence, on the job site where I work, they should have put my picture with a circle and a slash. Don't let this guy on the job site, he's the worst dogger worker you can imagine. Because this is how much I hated taking the shovel. And, I hated it. I couldn't stand it. And so I was so unmotivated. I was a lousy, terrible worker. And then I started selling caldero, because back in the day, in 77, that's what we sold, was waterless cookware. And we still do today. It cooks vegetables without water. All you do is wash them, put them in the pan, dripping wet. They taste amazing. The caldero is guaranteed for a lifetime. It's all surgical stainless steel. It was amazing. And I was 19, and the moment I started selling caldero, boom, I went right to the top. I was so motivated I couldn't stop. See, I'll tell you something. You're going to be really successful in your life, you got to be hungry. You got to be really hungry for success. If you want to be big, you want to make some extra part-time money, great. You don't have to be as hungry. But if you want to be big, you got to be hungry. And I was really hungry. I wanted it badly. And I looked at the people above me, being a high school dropout at 16 years old. I looked at the people above me and I thought, okay, I want what he's got. And my manager back in 1977 was making $66,000 a year. Oh, holy moly. You know, doctors were making that kind of money. Just an MD. They were getting out of med school, making 33 grand as a what do they call it, intern. And so my first year I made like 24 grand or 30. Yeah, 24,000, then I went to 32, then I went boom, 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 all the way up. And actually I worked with, back in 1978, someone that you're gonna know, Eddie Gutierrez. Eddie Gutierrez and Annabelle Ramo were selling calderos from 1978 to 1984, and then they went back to the Philippines. Yeah, they were living in Los Angeles. And so anyways, to shorten the story, I left that company. I helped bring Carico into Canada in 1986. And in 1996, Rose Chlorine was from Batak, single parent, husband was killed in the Philippines. And Rose was a nanny. And I said, Rose, you start working with me, I'll train you. She didn't drive. I said, I know you're a nanny with these people, and it was a Jewish family. And I said, one day they're not going to want you. You're already in your 50s. Or early 50s or late 40s. Anyways, we'll figure it out in a minute 2019, so how many years is that? 1996, that's like 34 years? Was that right? 34 years? Anyways, I said, listen, I'll pick you up at 8 o'clock when you're done. You make sure you book an appointment. I'll take you out on the call. We share the sale. You're going to make a lot of money. I'll train you. That's the way it's going to work. I'm not going to just tell you how to do it. I'm going to take you, hold your hand. I'm going to teach you how to do it. And I coached her to get her driver's license, to get a car, and to buy a house by herself as a single parent. That house was worth 200, I'm gonna just guess 260 grand. It was in that area somewhere. It's worth over $1 million right now. And she brought all her kids over from the Philippines. She worked with me 4 years part-time, and she's been full-time ever since the year 2000. She's slowed down now. She's in her 70s. She's slowed down now. She's worked very little now in the last 3 years. But I think when someone can make a living, buy a house, have a brand new car, bring all their kids from the Philippines, and be full-time since 2000, not part-time, because you look at most network marketing companies, everybody's part-time. I'm going to show you, with us, we got a lot of people full-time all over the world. And all I'm trying to say is that I think it says good things. The lady that inspired me, now this is going to sound cute, but you got to remember, in every company, there's people that, I can show you people, if I can talk in dollars right now, it just helps me rather than trying to convert it all into dirhams. But in US dollars, I can show you people that work with us that make an extra $1,000 a month. I can show you people that work with us that make $3,000. I can show you people that make $10,000. As a matter of fact, there is a lady in this room that stood up here, and she was just saying that her largest paycheck, she's only been with us a year, she has a hair salon, earned 40,000 dirhams in 1 month. And you can meet her, Eva. Well, Yuri, her mentor, had her biggest income month ever in Philippines last month, And we can show you their paychecks, okay? Because I used to have this thing about people trying to recruit me all the time. And they tell me how rich I'm gonna get with them. And I'd say, do you guys live in a secret neighborhood? And I'd be joking, right? And they said, what are you talking about, Jerry? I says, because you all talk about being so rich, but I don't see it. Show me your paycheck, I'll show you mine. I always believe, talk, show me, let me see it going into your account, Anyways, truth, and we can verify, Yuri Moore in Philippines last month made 2 million pesos. And she's the one that recruited Eva, and they used to work together in, what's that makeup company, or New Skin. They worked in New Skin together for 8 years or 10 years. Okay? And I recruited Yuri 2.5 years ago in Davao. And she's been with me now for over 2 years. Now she's a powerful girl though, so let's not say that it's easy, because it's not. You don't get to that level because it's easy. You get that level because it's hard, and you were able to scale that mountain.